A Rude central air conditioner is built so well, it might just last you till the next ice age. Heck, a Rude air conditioner cools so well, it might even cause the next ice age. You can rely on Rude.
Special financing now available.
Welcome back to ESPN's NFL Draft coverage. 97, almost 6 hours in the book. It was about noon Eastern time when the Rams got things going by taking the first selection overall. We begin our update whip around with Mark Malone in St. Louis.
Thanks, Chris. Orlando Pace currently in the air on its way here to St. Louis. The Rams are on the clock with their final pick in this first day of the draft in 1997. They need defensive help, perhaps a defensive back. My sources say the phones are ringing. We'll be back with an update soon. Now let's go to Seattle and Hank Goldberg.
The Seahawks wanted Sean Springs, the defensive back from Ohio State, with their number 3 pick in the first round. They got him. They wanted to trade up to get Walter Jones with number 6. They got him. They did lose a player today. Terry Wooden, a veteran linebacker, has agreed to terms with Kansas City. 4-year deal there. Kansas City, by the way, soon to draft at number 47. They are going to be looking for a playmaker to go with the tight end Gonzalez they took earlier, and they think they're going to get him. Let's go to Hempstead with the Jets, Sal Palantonio.
Bill Parcells in the first 2 rounds added 2 probable starters to this Jets battered defense. Virginia linebacker James Farrier and Rick Terry, defensive tackle out of North Carolina, who's perhaps a steal on the defensive side of the ball at this point in the draft. Now let's go to Andrea Kramer in Tampa.
The Buccaneers have fulfilled 3 needs on offense. In the first round, they got running back Warwick Dunn, wide receiver Riddell Anthony, and they just selected offensive tackle Jerry Wunsch. He will project to the right tackle position. After this, they feel that they can take the best player available, but they wouldn't mind getting a 3rd cornerback. Let's go to Linda Cohn in New Orleans.
First round, the Saints went offense and chose guard Chris Nioli. Second round, they went defense at 33 and chose free safety Rob Kelly. Mike Ditka loves this guy. He told me yesterday he likes a guy that can hit, that is quick, and is a leader, and Rob Kelly is all of these things. In fact, Ditka compares Kelly to a Gary Fensick, one of his former favorites with the Bears. Next up for the Saints, number 39, and guess who's still there? Corey Dillon. Now to Chris Mortensen in Miami.
Jimmy Johnson and the Miami Dolphins biding their time in the war room, waiting to make their next pick at the 14th spot. They have picked Yatil Green, the wide receiver from the University of Miami. I think they go defense pretty much the rest of the way, maybe an offensive lineman. Remember, last year they picked up 3 defensive starters in later rounds. This time they've got 4 3s and 2 4s. Jimmy Johnson still figures to pick up plenty of players. Now let's go to Chris Myers and the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas wanted help on offense. They got some big help. 6'7", 280-pound tight end David LaFleur. They traded up 3 spots to draft him. They may be looking at wide receiver help. Kevin Williams is unsigned. And also on defense, despite being 3rd ranked overall in the league last year, Leon Lett doesn't play till the final month of the season. Deion Sanders is doing that baseball thing, and they lost Darren Smith, the linebacker who signed with Philadelphia, as Jerry is eyeing the board in the war room. Let's go to Green Bay now and Gary Danielson.
Well, the Packers ignored the obvious need, outside linebacker, but they took a position that's always needed in Green Bay, good offensive lineman, especially a versatile one like Ross Verba from Iowa. But no resting here. Ron Wolf is back to work in the war room as he prepares for the Packers' 2nd choice. Let's go to Bristol now and Chris Fowler.
All right, thanks, fellas. I'm back with Ron Jaworski. Your old coach, Dick Vermeil, who you played under for 6 years at Philadelphia, was on the clock, but the Rams, who, of course, traded up to get Orlando Pace with the first pick, reducing that total number of picks they had in the draft. They started with 10 before that trade, had to give away 3 picks, have now traded down.
Well, when you look at the Rams, you look at Dick Vermeil, the one thing you have to understand is Dick Vermeil understands the college football player. He's been doing the games for ABC. You know, he went in on Wednesday for a Saturday game, talked to the coaches, talked to the players, and the coaches will give Dick Vermeil information because he was always very positive when he talked about coaches, mentioned the coordinators, mentioned the fine players and all the things that they have done. So Dick Vermeil, in my opinion, has an inside track to the quality, particularly in the later rounds.
He waited 14 years to make that draft pick, coming after his retirement from the Eagles. It was the Eagles rock group that had a 14-year hiatus. They came back successfully. He's got the veteran assistant coaches. A lot has been made about that and their ability to relate or not relate to younger players. Your thoughts on that?
Well, no question, Dick Vermeil learned a lot from those 14 years away from the game, and he brought with him some of the finest assistants in all of football, guys that were head coaches. And you look right there, Bud Carson, Jerry Rome, Jim Hannafin, Mike White, Dick Corey, Frank Gantz, all very special, talented coaches now working as assistant coaches. These guys have the ability to get the job done. And one thing Dick Vermeil will do, he will become an executive head coach. He will let this talented group coach their positions.
They, of course, don't have that third-round pick, or did not have it before this deal, so the next pick coming up, number 40, as they trade down with the Bears, who will now make the next selection as we continue our ESPN draft coverage right after this.
Yeah. Stand by to roll your brake in 4, 3, roll your brake, 2, 1.
Luxottica Eyewear. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see a student and a teacher.
See refinement.
I'd like you to see me.
Luxottica Eyewear. Let them see you.
This is the sound of small businesses doing more business with Fridays free from Sprint. Call now, and your business can get long distance on Fridays free until the year 2000. Call 1-800-598-5000, only from Sprint Business.
If you want the theater experience, without that theater experience, get a home theater system at Circuit City and enjoy it in the privacy of your own home. Circuit City, you can't get a lower price. We guarantee it.
The seniors tee it up in Vegas as Jim Colbert goes for 3 in a row at the Canyons. The Las Vegas Senior Classic. First-round coverage begins Friday at 3, only on ESPN.
Yes, Mr. Templer. We've replaced the shattered windshield, lacerated tires, and removed bullets from the fender, doors, dashboard, and seats. Your Volvo was as good as new. Mr. Templer, what exactly do you do for a living?
The movie is The Saint. The car is a Volvo.
This is the most dangerous place to be if your transmission has started to slip. Will you make it? Don't take the chance. Take your car to AMCO. AMCO centers have expert technicians with state-of-the-art diagnostic tools. And relax. Half the cars serviced by AMCO centers don't need a new transmission. AMCO is the place to find out about your transmission. Not out here. AMCO. AA MCO.
Polaroid presents the NFL Draft Snapshot.
Atlanta has selected Brett Favre, quarterback, Southern Mississippi.
So Atlanta gets a favor by selecting Brett Favre from Southern Mississippi. In his lone season in Atlanta, Favre played in only 2 games, spending most of his time on the sidelines. In 1992, Atlanta did Green Bay a big favor, trading Favre for a first-round pick. Made his first start week 4 and has started ever since. An amazing 77 games in a row with a 50 and 27 lifetime mark. He was named the NFL's MVP the past 2 seasons. And last year, Favre guided the Packers to a 35-21 Super Bowl victory over the New England Patriots. And we are back in New York. Hi. Let's get you updated. This is wonderful. Now, let's get you updated now on what's happened. We've had a trade in the second round between the Chicago Bears. Remember, only they and San Diego did not have first-round picks. That's why you haven't heard from them. But the Bears picking 40, move up to 38, just to go 2 slots. But they get a tight end who they like, John Allred from USC. And in exchange, the Rams go back 2 picks, so we'll hear from them after the Saints who are on the clock. And they pick up a 6 just for the courtesy of letting the Bears go up 2 slots. Well, a guy who knows about moving up and down in the draft, certainly, in our Sprint video conference now on the line from Charlotte is general manager of the Carolina Panthers, Bill Pohl.